We're all looking for more motivation, right? But what if the very thing we think drives us, that little chemical kick of pleasure, is based on a huge misunderstanding? Today, we're going to dig into the real neuroscience of what gets you out of bed in the morning. And just a heads up, this might totally change the way you think about your own drive. All right, so let's get right into it. We've all heard of dopamine. It's kind of the celebrity of brain chemicals, right? The one we talk about with our social media addictions and our drive to succeed. But here's the kicker. What if its main job isn't actually about making you feel good? Hey, let's be fair. The popular story is popular for a reason. I mean, as Dr. Sydney Ceruto points out, the connection seems obvious. You think about something you want, a slice of pizza, a promotion at work, and your brain releases dopamine. Simple enough. This is the classic story, right? Dopamine is the spark plug. It's the pleasure signal that gets you energized, helps you push through, and then lets you enjoy the reward. It's a really neat, simple story. Dopamine equals pleasure, and pleasure equals motivation. But of course, science loves to throw a wrench in a simple story. And that wrench came from a really surprising experiment, a moment that forced neuroscientists to basically rip up the old script and start over on what motivation is all about. So picture this, it's 1989. These two researchers, Burridge and Robinson, do this incredible experiment with rats. They managed to get rid of almost all the dopamine in their brains. And just like you'd expect, the rats became totally lazy. They wouldn't even bother to go look for food. But, and this is the big twist, when the researchers put a drop of sugar water right on their tongues, the rats made all the little happy faces that showed they enjoyed it. They still liked the sugar. They just had absolutely zero motivation to go get it. And that right there was the light bulb moment. For the first time, there was crystal clear evidence that the brain has two totally separate systems. One for the drive to get a reward, and a completely different one for the actual pleasure of having it. Okay, so let's break this down. The first system is what they call liking. This is the actual feeling of pleasure itself. It's that, that's good moment. It's pure enjoyment. And get this, it's not run by dopamine. It's run by other things, like the brain's own opioid system. And then you have the second system, wanting. This is the engine. It's the craving, the urge, the I gotta have it feeling. It's what makes the idea of a reward seem so incredibly important and grab all your attention. And this is the system that is powered by that huge, powerful dopamine pathway. So let's put it side by side, because this is the whole game right here. Liking is the pleasure of arrival. Wanting is the engine for the journey. Liking is this is great. Wanting is I need that. And this is wild, because in our own minds, they feel totally connected, right? But in the brain's actual wiring, nope, fundamentally different things. Okay, so this is where it gets a little scary, but also super interesting. What happens when that dopamine-driven wanting engine gets hijacked and just goes into absolute overdrive, completely disconnected from any real pleasure you might get? Well, that exact split is the key to understanding something incredibly serious: addiction. It's all explained by what's called the incentive sensitization theory. So here's the breakdown. When someone repeatedly uses certain drugs, it doesn't just give the dopamine system a little nudge. It basically rewires it, making it super, super sensitive. That means that anything related to the drug, a place, a person, a feeling, can trigger this massive, overwhelming wave of wanting. And here's the truly tragic part. Over time, the actual liking, the pleasure from the drug, often goes way down. You're left with this compulsive, all-consuming drive for something that doesn't even make you feel good anymore. You can see it so clearly here. The first time someone uses liking and wanting are both pretty high. But as addiction takes hold, this huge gap opens up. The pleasure, the liking, just plummets. But that wanting, that craving, it goes through the roof. It becomes a monster. That is the neurobiological trap of addiction, right there. But okay, let's pull back, because this isn't just about the dark side of things. This same exact split between wanting and liking is running the show for everything we do. Our hobbies, our careers, our relationships, it's the basic operating system for all human motivation. And this system, it powers two main kinds of motivation. You've got intrinsic motivation. That's when you do something just because you love it. You're curious, you want to get better at it. The activity is the reward. And then there's extrinsic motivation. That's when you're chasing something outside yourself. Money, a good grade, or someone saying, good job. Both of these tap into that same wanting system. So once you get this, once you realize your wanting system is this super powerful engine that kind of runs on its own, the whole game changes. It's not about just chasing pleasure anymore. It's about being the pilot. It's about consciously aiming that powerful engine at things that actually matter. And the cool thing is, we can actually do this. So, how do we steer it? Well, first, set super clear goals. Why? Because that gives your dopamine system a specific target to lock onto and want. Second, break big tasks into tiny pieces. Each little win gives you a small hit of dopamine, which keeps that engine chugging along. Practicing mindfulness helps you strengthen your brain's CEO, the prefrontal cortex, so it can manage those powerful urges. And of course, building social connections and managing stress helps keep all your brain chemistry in balance, so the system works like it's supposed to. But the real holy grail here, the ultimate goal, is to point that wanting system at things you find intrinsically rewarding, when what you're doing is tied to your own curiosity or a sense of getting better at something or just feeling like it has a purpose. Well, that's when the engine fuels itself. The pursuit becomes its own reward, and that leads to real creativity, persistence, and a deep kind of fulfillment. Look, if you take away just one thing today, please let it be this. Dopamine is not the prize. It's not the feeling of pleasure when you finally arrive. It is the relentless, powerful engine for the journey. It's the seeking. It's the pursuit. And that leaves us all with a really big, kind of personal question. Knowing that your brain's powerful wanting system can be totally separate from what you actually like, take a look at your own life. What are you pursuing so hard? What is your engine aimed at? And is it really something that's going to make you happy when you get there?